everybody, welcome to the inaugural broadcast of the revamped RevLIVE. That's right, folks, if you are here, you are probably joining us because you were subscribed to our previous WORC TV, that's when we ran the World Online Racing Championship. But now we have decided to go through the whole rebrand and upgrade it with absolutely full-blown revamp graphics. They've had graphics and hard at work on this for weeks now, and at this point, we are here today for Miata Mayhem. Not a lot of cars, but definitely a few, and obviously with it being a full throttle type of environment here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway in these cars, we are certainly going to see some pretty close quarters racing. So right now we have sorry, the music's a little loud. We want to turn that one down. So right now we have there we go. We're figuring it out. Sorry, guys. First stream back on RevLIVE, so obviously we have to work our kinks out here a little bit. But anyways, yeah. So we have some qualifying going on right now on your screen. Once again, we'll go through the details here. Let's get into your commentary crew for tonight. Obviously, my name is Bryson Collins. If you're familiar with WORC TV, you're familiar with me for sure. And if you're familiar with WORC TV, you're familiar with our if you've been around forever, our very first broadcast. The other commentator in here, Josh Patterson. Josh, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, Bryson. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty excited that we've got this thing going again, and obviously these graphics are tenfold better than what we had before. Granted, the other stuff was, 6 months old. So, speaking of some OGs from that era, we have Henry Clapper. That's right, Henry Heyman Clapper out there in that black and red number 34, putting down a qualifying lap right now. We have just a couple minutes left in qualifying. As we can see here, we've had one lap put in so far, and that is Ben Pelletier, maybe? He is Canadian, so maybe trying to play on the French accent there. My apologies if I got the name wrong, but he qualified with a 42.492 second lap time. Obviously, these laps will get much faster as we get into the race because, once again, it's like a plate race. It's full throttle racing here. As we see everybody else kind of going out now trying to get their laps in as well. So it looks like we're gonna have a 6-car field for this one. Pelletier, I'm gonna keep rolling with that now, that little French accent until he hope maybe he'll correct me, maybe not. But anyways, right now we have Henry Clapper. We're currently looking at his current lap here as he wraps the bottom here around the Homestead-Miami Speedway, a home track for the Hollywood, Florida native. Henry Clapper, tons of starts on iRacing. He's definitely ran some Homestead races before in this car, and we have a new fastest lap. It looks like it's going to be Watkins. That's right. The 5 of Brandon Watkins is going to go quick time. Oh, David Bachman. David Bachman has just jumped up to the top of the charts with a 42.325. Clapper's run was a 42.436. And he's going to go out there for his second lap now.
Yeah, a lot of fast guys running quick. Now late into this qualifying session, we had Ben Pelletier up front, but now beaten by 3 different drivers, all coming out and getting quicker lap times. David Bachman coming through turn 3 and 4. On a pretty quick lap. He is currently sitting on pole, but while these final seconds wind down, let's head into your track info. We're here in Homestead-Miami Speedway in Homestead, Florida, USA. The length of just under 1.5 miles at 1.48 and a altitude of 3.6 feet, above sea level. Our race info for the day. Not quite 2 laps, 25 laps today, track temperature of 75 degrees, 6 cars here today for our first broadcast back with a strength of field of just under 2,500. We also have a fast time today from David Bachman at a 42.225.
325, yeah. 325. He's definitely he's fast, and again, another guy who came from that WORC era of this channel. Obviously, was a big part of the World Online Racing Championship. Made several starts in the series throughout our different disciplines that we raced in, and so yeah, Bachman in the 84 to the point here. Let's go ahead and go through the rest of the starting grid, Josh.
Yeah, so on pole is going to be David Bachman in the 84. To his outside is Brandon Watkins in the 5. Following those two in row 2 is Tyler Ryan in the 2 and Henry Clapper, P4, in the 34. And rounding out your 6-car field for tonight is Ben Pelletier in the 24 and Mark Bunch in the 6. All of them are gridded.
Actually, we do have a 7th entry in the field. Not quite connected yet, but possibly on the way. It's going to be the 7 of Matthew Lukic. But it actually appears maybe he's not going to be on the way. So Maybe we'll have a 6-car field after all, but 7 cars were registered for this one. So we are going to be, we're going to be 2 to green here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of different things here. You know, we've been through the race info. I mean, track facts, right? Everybody knows Homestead-Miami Speedway. I mean, this is one of the premier racing facilities in America. I believe it's an FIA Grade 2 track in terms of the world outlook here. I don't know. This place is just cool. Obviously, a big favorite. The oval, very popular. A lot of people would argue that this oval is the best one that the NASCAR National Series visit in terms of the Cup Series, Truck Series, and O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. So a lot going on here. When this track was built, actually, fun fact for a lot of people who may not know it, it was modeled after Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was essentially a 1.5-mile version of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The very first NASCAR truck race that occurred on a 1.5-mile oval was at this racetrack in, I believe it was 1997, shortly after the track was built. So it's actually one of the newer tracks on the schedule as well. And that track ultimately was decently liked, especially by the truck drivers who raced that race. And so they reconfigured it, made it the oval that it is today, and it is such a good racetrack. So we're definitely very, very happy to have this racetrack in America. Very lucky to be able to race here, and very lucky to have it scanned virtually here on the iRacing service. And with a 6-car field here for 25 laps, this one should be a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely one of the best tracks on the sim, especially for the 1.5-mile ovals. This is definitely a top-tier racetrack, and yeah, always one to produce some great racing. But yeah, as we come back to the green here, pace car is going to be pulling off this time. Do you have any favorites you're looking at for today's event, or just looking for a good race?
Well, I mean, I'm very familiar with Henry Clappert, and he has a bit of a teammate in this race, Tyler Ryan, in that too. Henry drives for Sempiternal Esports. Tyler drives for the affiliate team, Team Empire. And so, I mean, I'm looking for those two to work together. And Henry, I mean, he's just a guy. He knows these tracks really well. He has a lot of super speedway victories in leagues. I believe that's the form of track he has the most victories in. So definitely a guy to look out for here. But 6 cars, 25 laps the distance here at Homestead for Miata Mayhem at Homestead. And the green flag will fly. We're off and underway for the inaugural broadcast here on RevLIVE as they go into turn number 1. And already Clappert is bumping the back bumper of the car on the outside there. That's going to be Watkins in the 5. They're going to be 3 wide here through turns 1 and 2 for a moment. Clappert's going to drop back into line, and Bachman's going to lead off of turn number 2.
Yeah, Bachman with a great push from Tyler Ryan out into the lead. It almost looked like Brandon Watkins was going to have the run initially, but then Henry Clappert pulled to his outside and does it again here, 3 wide to the top side from the 34. But Bachman does have the nose on the field. However, Henry does have a pretty good run to the outside, but it seems to have stalled out going into 3.
Yeah, 3 wide here for second place. Ryan on the bottom, Watkins in the middle. Clappert was on the top side for a moment here. Lap number 1 is going to go to David Bachman in the 84, the Speed Racer number 5 themed scheme. Tyler Ryan peeks to the inside for a moment there. He's got the lane, and he may have just moved Bachman off the bottom there, trying to go for the lead. And here we go. We're going to be 3 wide up front for the lead going through turns 1 and 2. Ryan on the bottom, Bachman in the middle. That's going to be Watkins on the top side and the Oscar Mayer number 5. Down on the bottom lane, we almost have those 2 teammates that I mentioned linked together. Ryan is now going to be your leader here down the back straightaway. Yeah,
Ryan held strong on the bottom there as they tried to go 3 wide. Had a very strong move to the inside of Bachman to put him up to the middle. So they are able to pull away on the bottom. He's getting a good push from Pelletier in the 24, as it seems like they're trying to form a 4-car break or 4-car line on the top. Or maybe not. Here comes Brandon Watkins to the outside yet again. They are not going to be content with just going 2 wide. They're going to stick to 3 as much as they can because they want some racing, they want some excitement, and they want to make a show.
I was going to say, Henry Clappert just knocked the fastest lap out there, and I'm noting that because he had to make an aggressive move to go up to the middle to push Bachman, and now he goes to the top side here. Watkins will now cross over to the middle lane. Bunch on the 6 is going to be on the bottom as we go down the back straightaway. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there out of Bachman. That's going to force Clappert to wiggle on the outside, and Ryan is still getting the push from Pelletier as they go through turns 3 and 4 side by side here. Obviously, nobody going to give an inch. As I mentioned, it's just very much like restrictor plate racing in the NASCAR vehicles, so this is going to be a fun one to watch through these remaining laps here as we tick off another one, and Bachman is going to lead that lap with a big push from Watkins in the 5. Bachman will clear down. Watkins tries to follow, gets in line, and you have a 4-car inside line. Henry Clappert's way up on the top side, and Bunch is kind of just riding in the back for now. They're going to single file it out for a moment. We'll see if anybody makes a move coming here off of turn number 2.
Man, I love that camera angle down the front stretch. You just see them all spread out all the way across the racetrack. They use all of it, and really even more of it than they can. Ben Pelletier going under the apron to get around the 84 of David Bachman. Pulls to the lead with a very swift move there. I'm not sure if that's technically legal, but we'll let it slide here. But he pulls to the lead, and now Bachman comes back on his outside, and here they go, spread out again, 4 wide down the front straightaway at the line. Bachman gets the lap lead.
This is absolutely insane, and these guys have to be careful. They're on iRacing, you do get to be granted a quick repair if the host chooses. There is no fast repair here. If you get damage, you are just cooked for the rest of the race. And so these guys are getting really, really erratic here for only being 5 laps into this 25-lap affair. Down the back straightaway, though, the 6-car, who's been kind of riding at the back of this one for most of it, it's going to be Mark Bunch. He is now fighting for the lead down on the bottom with a push from Pelletier, who, honestly, it seems like he's been the primary pusher of the leader through this one. But they're 3 wide behind them there for 4th. Oh, Bachman's head onto the outside wall, and we're wrecking in front of them as well. Tyler Ryan and Brandon Watkins go around. Yellow flag waves.
Huge hits.
That's what I said. These guys were getting really erratic with no fast repairs on the charts. And I believe Tyler Ryan is going to be done. I believe David Bachman is going to be done as well, and we're going to be down to a 4-car race as these guys just got too crazy.
Yeah, we're going to look at a replay here. It seems like Bachman was up the middle, got a bad push from Watkins, and Tyler Ryan just tries to avoid that. However, it didn't seem like he really needed to there. But
yeah, a little overreactionary measure there perhaps by the 2, as he just, yeah, I think he reacted to the wreck. I think maybe he expected the 84 to bounce further back off the wall, and unfortunately clipped the 5. The 5 did just kind of do a little pirouette back to knock the back bumper off on the wall, so the 5 should be fine. But Ryan is gonna struggle to I don't know if these guys are gonna be able to get their cars repaired in time for sure. I believe we're gonna be down to a 4-car race.
Yeah, Tyler is trying to make his way into the pits as he does so. Everyone but Bachman makes it back to the pits. Yeah, Tyler's got that right front knocked way out of her, and the whole front end of that car is destroyed. So really a tough deal for the guys in that 2 car. I know they were optimistic going into this one, looking to have a good day showing, but after that, I doubt that they'll be able to continue.
And missing the pit box on top of that damage, that is a rough one there. The 2 is not going to be happy. Getting that car up on the jack stands, maybe they're going to see what they can figure out with it. But meanwhile, up front, Mark Bunch, as I mentioned, he was kind of tailing the back end of this field for most of that run there, and then he got to the front, and getting to the front ended up being a good deal for him because he was able to avoid that wreck. So Bunch is ahead of Pelletier and Clappert, the 3 cars who don't have any sort of damage at all in this one. I mean, like I said, these guys were getting really erratic, guys. It's a 25 lap race. You don't have a fast repair or anything of the sorts. Really no need to be that aggressive. You know, I mean, obviously these guys wanted to put on a show, but there's definitely a better way to go about it than that. And that's certainly not the way I would have gone about it for sure. But, you know, maybe these 4 cars left are going to see that a third of their field is gone, and they're going to go, hold on, timeout. Let's figure this out. Let's calm down a little bit here.
As we go 1 to green, you know, they always say hindsight's 20/20. And if we look at Mark Bunch's race so far, as it seems like Brandon Watkins is going to get right back out in front of the pace car, he really did pick the perfect time to get through the field and get up to the front. If he would have been back in the 4th, 5th, 6th place there, he probably would have been involved in that one in a big way, but managed to get to the front and you know, was just in front of the wreck there. So definitely a good move for him, and getting to the front at the right time.
Yeah, and now we'll see Brandon Watkins. He rolls off of pit road. Like I said, he got lucky there. The only damage he really suffered was knocking the back bumper on the wall, and I mean, that's not really going to do anything to you. Mm-hmm. These guys have some front end damage from obviously the pushes and shoves that come with this kind of racing, but otherwise they're perfectly fine. David Bachman is done for the night for sure. Motor is blown up on that thing. Tyler Ryan appears like he's trying to get this thing figured out, but the right front tire is now completely off of the race car. So we'll see if Ryan can get that thing fixed and maybe get back out here and just run some laps, maybe play a factor as lap traffic. But otherwise, it's going to be down to 4 cars. It's going to be Watkins running out the tail of the field, and then obviously, as we mentioned, Bunch, your leader, Pelletier on the front row. The green flag is back out, and we're underway here, so Watkins did not even catch the field. So this is going to be a 3-car race for now, unless we get a yellow. And if I'm these guys, maybe I'm going to sit in line for a second. Maybe somebody will make it interesting, and there goes Clapper to the outside going into 1. He said, I'll make it interesting. Why not?
Yeah, Watkins unfortunately wasn't able to catch the field there. He came out of the pits so late, and it looked like he still had a little bit of damage on that left rear. So he's really got to be hoping for, well, realistically, Henry to make some moves. They're going 3 wide. They don't care. You just see half the field get wrecked? Who cares? Already 3 wide into turn 3.
And you know what? If they're 3 wide and getting aggressive, maybe it gives Watkins a chance to not lose so much time. But here we go. Henry Clappert's going to look up the middle. No, he's going to pull down into the inside line. I was going to look to the inside of Bunch. He's going to be down on the pink stuff there as they're almost 3 wide. Now they're 3 wide crossing the line. 10 laps into this one. We may not even make it to the scheduled distance of 25 laps as we're running 3 wide. A little bit of contact. Fenders being flared here between the 24 of Pelletier and the 6 of Bunch. And Clappert is your new race leader in the 34.
Yeah, that really just opened up the hole for Clappert to shoot through. But here they come back. A big push run from the 6 of Mark Bunch. And then another big push by the 24. They are really just giving it to each other in the biggest way they possibly can right now. There's only 3 cars left here in a realistic condition as Brandon Watkins does go back down the pit lane. It looks like he might be done for the night. But these 3 are not going to be content without a show.
Yeah, well, these 3 are going to make sure that we get a show. Half our field is gone, and it was a small field to begin with. The windshield wipers flaring on Henry Clappert's car as Pelletier looks to the top side going through turns 1 and 2. Bunch not really sure which one he wants to draft with. Does he want to follow the 24? Does he want to follow the 34? The 24 way up on the top side of the racetrack here as we go down the back straightaway, trying to chase Henry Clappert, and we're going to see if they can use the draft to their advantage here as they're single filed out 11 of 25 through this one, almost halfway.
Yeah, for sure. There goes Ben Pelletier down the bottom, and it looks like Henry's just going to give it to him as Mark Bunch goes around as well. Definitely, the draft plays a big factor here in a car like this, at a track like this. So you're going to see a lot of those drafting type scenarios where they are just using the draft to the fullest effect to try to get back to each other. As here comes Henry Clappert again up the middle with a huge run, and he'll shoot back to the lead.
3 wide once again for the lead. Bunch way up on the top side of the racetrack. Pelletier trying to fight back on the bottom. We'll see who Bunch decides to draft with here down the straightaway. If it's going to be Clapper, if it's going to be Pelletier. 12 out of 25 in this one. Half the field out of this one. Watkins, Ryan, and Bachman out due to an early race crash. Now we're on board with the 6 of Mark Bunch as he looks to the inside lane. Smooth and steady, sawing off on that Mazda wheel as he takes the lead back from Pelletier going out of turn number 4 and onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, good move. It's hard to make a bad one here. Although that was almost just a bad one right there. Big move to the top and big move back down. Almost causes a 2-car to a 3-car wreck and wipes out the rest of the field. But we keep it straight, and Pelletier goes to the back. Henry Clappert back side by side with Mark Bunch for the lead.
You would think after watching half of this field just absolutely disappear on lap 7 of 25 that, like I said, maybe we'd calm down a little bit, take it easy. We got to make it to 25, right? I mean, the last lap is the one you want to lead. Absolutely not. These guys are going off, running 3 wide for most of these laps, swapping positions left and right, and I'm honestly not even sure who's going to lead coming to the white flag, let alone who's going to lead at the end of the white flag when those checkers are waving. As we come off of turn number 4, Pelletier once again tries to get a run on the 6 of Mark Bunch. Henry Clappert's going to go for the push as they cross the start-finish line halfway through this one here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Yeah, lap 14 of 25. We go back 3 wide. No time to waste from Henry Clappert. I mean, they're going to be sticking with each other almost no matter what, unless they wreck with the draft here. As Pelletier goes under the apron again. Oh, actually, no, not quite. It looked like it was under the apron on the end of the exit of 4 there, or on the exit of 2. But no, he actually gets around the 2 of them and goes back to the point. And no, there goes Henry Clappert! He saves it!
What a save out of
wow.
the 34! But the 6 and 34 now have big ground to make up with just 11 laps to go. They have to draft together now to catch Pelletier as they've lost a second to the driver of the 24, who is now taking a firm advantage in this one. Clappert's going to have to give a big push to the 6 here as they wrap the bottom, and we'll see now as they play a new game. Can we catch the 24 in time? The draft plays a huge factor, but usually it's going to play a bigger factor when there's more than 2 cars running it. So we'll see here. That last lap around for Pelletier was a 42.300, and these guys obviously with the half spins there each ran about 43.5 second lap times. So we'll be able to tell this time by when they cross the line what the difference is in lap time between the draft versus not being in the draft. But as they come off of turn number 4, we're coming to 10 laps to go here, and I think maybe we could check in on some mid-race info.
Yeah, definitely. Mid-race info so far. We are on lap 14 of 25, make that 15. We've only had 1 caution for 2 caution laps. It says there's 5 cars remaining, but 2 of those are still in the pit lane, being Brendan Watkins and Tyler Ryan. David Blackman has left us for the night. We've got 4 lead changes, but that seems to be less than actual. It seems like we've had 4 leaders, but an average lap time so far of 42.55 seconds.
And Pelletier is currently channeling his inner Dale Earnhardt Jr. from the 2001 Daytona night race because he is blocking both lanes here. Clapper and Bunch have caught up to the back end of the 24 car, and now here they come off of turn number 4. Clappert's got the run. He's got a big draft on the 24. The 6 is stuck on the bottom. Clappert's going to go to the outside lane as they cross the line for lap 17 out of 25. Clappert will take the advantage going into turn number 1, but the 24 is going to be on the bottom lane, which is the advantageous lane overall. So while Clapper did have the run there for a moment, he's going to have to back it off, get back in line with the 24. The 6 has lost considerable ground on these 2, actually, so I'm not really sure what's going on there with the 6, but he may have lost the draft. I'm not sure if maybe he wasn't following in line or what's going on here, but now he's going to try to chase the draft as they serpentine down the back straightaway, going into turn number 3. Still side by side between the 34 and the 24 for the race lead.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that second and a half almost gap disappeared real quick. They were back to the back bumper of the 24 in just about a lap, so that shows you how much the draft actually means here. As a gap like that can get eliminated in a snap of a fingers. It's what keeping these guys all so close together and keeping the racing so tight and interesting.
Absolutely. This one is going to turn out to be a barn burner if they can just keep it clean for these remaining laps. We're on 18 out of 25, but as we saw, they weren't taking it so easy early on, and on 7 out of 25, we lost half the field. So we'll see how this one goes as Bunch gives a big push to Pelletier. Clappert's way up on the top side of the racetrack. Oh, Pelletier gets loose off the push from Bunch. And Bunch now is going to clip the apron, and these guys might lose the draft for a moment here to Pelletier. Clappert's going to roll the outside lane on the 6 of Mark Bunch as the 24 continues to lead here, and the 6 is going to have the draft of the 24 for a moment here. Not really sure. These guys, they're just going to run it out side by side here, apparently down the front straightaway. Pelletier is still going to try to block both lanes as he widens out his entry going into turn number 1. Clapper gets a big run through the corner, and center of the corner, the 6 is going to wash up about half a lane. Clapper's going to close up quick, and we're once again bumper to bumper to bumper here between the 3 cars remaining in this one.
It's funny with how quickly that gap went away. I'm about to eat my words, but the 24 of Pelletier was able to stay in front of them for so long, even though they were hounding him right down his throat. But he almost blocks up and hits him. Still side by side, man. So close to contact, if not contact there between Clappert and Pelletier. But they stay clean and stay 3 wide at the line. Pelletier with the advantage.
I think Clapper thought he was clear there and was going to come down on the 24, and the 24 said, hey, man, ironically, that's Henry's catchphrase, of course, but the 24 said, hey, man, I'm actually still here, and Clapper kind of had a wiggle, and now he's way up the top side of the racetrack there, and Mark Bunch, I don't know if, it seems like he's wanting to kind of hang back again. His early race strategy seems to have come to fruition as a late race strategy, in spite of the fact that there's only 3 cars left in this one, as Pelletier is snaking down the back straightaway, trying to block for the lead. Clapper goes to the top side once again, and Bunch is just kind of hanging back there. You can see the headlights of the 6 as we roll through turns 3 and 4 once again, coming to 5 laps to go in this one. The flagman's got the 5 fingers down, pointing them at these race car drivers as they come down the front straightaway here at night. 3 wide now once again as we cross the start finish line. Does Bunch have a big enough run to take the lead? He does, and he's going to clear them all the way down to the bottom. Maybe. No, he's not going to clear all the way down to the bottom. He could have, but he's going to roll out a lane off the bottom there. Now he's going to try to clear in front of the 24. Contact, slight contact there between the left rear fender of the 6 and the right front of the 24. Now we're 3 wide once again down the back straightaway as we head into turn number 3.
This could get interesting. I think I just heard another car. Would that be Brandon Watkins right in front of the field? We might have to deal with some lap traffic here late as we come to 4 laps to go.
And Brandon Watkins was sitting there on pit road watching all the excitement and said, you know what, I want to come get some laps here with these guys. And I'm pretty sure they're going to catch him because Watkins in his number 5 machine is running in turns 1 and 2, and they're entering turns 1 and 2. So, I mean, this is not going to take long for these guys to catch him, especially with the draft. And Watkins may tag the back, and he may play a big, big factor here in this one as we work to try to get our way out of here. And I believe there's a 5th car on track. The 2 of Tyler Ryan is also on the racetrack down the front straightaway. I'm not sure if they'll catch him in time with the laps remaining, but this is about to get intense here. We may have 2 lapped cars playing a factor in this 3-car race for the win.
Yeah, Brandon Watkins here is running the top side and is actually right next to the leaders now as we might go 3 wide with a lap car. Henry Clapper's using draft from the Watkins machine to get up to the front, and he gets a massive run from it and is able to clear Mark Bunch coming down into turn 1.
What a move by Clapper. He saw the lap car up there and said, you know, the top side isn't exactly where I'm going to get my best run. But, however, if I can use the draft... Oh, boy, they're getting antsy up here. The 6 clears up, self-clears on the 24 there for a moment. Now the 24 is going to come down. He's going to dive it down to the inside of Clapper. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead. And Watkins still has the draft of these guys, so he's definitely going to play a factor here. Coming to just 2 laps to go in this one. And the anxiousness of trying to get to that white flag and trying to get to the checkered flag is probably going to have a major impact on these guys as Watkins is part of it. And now Tyler Ryan in the 2, we're going to see, I don't know if they're going to catch him, but we for sure have 4 cars in this mix, 1 lap car, 3 lead lap cars as we go through turn number 1 with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, the 5 of Brandon Watkins is definitely going to play a factor here. It's weird to see the lines that, especially Mark Bunch is running. He's going up so far into the corners and now so far into the straightaway. But it looks like it's just trying to get this massive run down the backstretch and down the front stretch respectively as he gets that run with the help of the 5 of Brandon Watkins. And yeah, like you said, the 5 is going to play a factor whether these lead lap cars like it or not.
Coming off of turn number 4, Pelletier leads, but maybe not for long. Clapper's going to go to the outside line, and we're going to take the white flag here from Homestead-Miami Speedway. Clapper will lead us going into turn number 1, but we'll see how things play out and how the cards play in each of these 3 drivers' favor.
Yeah, it looks like the 5 has actually fallen quite far back, and it does not seem like they're going to catch the 2 of Tyler Ryan as he's headed down into turn 3. So that leaves this as very much a 3-car race with a 4-car pack. Henry Clapper is in the catbird seat here as he pushes Pelletier very hard and shoots the outside, but not with the run. Here comes Mark Bunch on the inside.
Bunch just doored the 34 of Clapper here as they come through turns 3 and 4. Bunch is going to have a huge run, and he's going to have a push from Watkins. Watkins, oh, contact! The 6 bounces off of the 24 Pelletier. Huge run for Henry Clapper, but Pelletier is going to block all the lanes. Coming to the start-finish line, 1 more lap to block, and it's going to be Pelletier in the 24 taking the win here. As Watkins, we said it, is that lap car going to play a factor? And absolutely, he did. And the little bit of contact there between Bunch and Pelletier, and then the blocking there to hold Clapper down to the bottom is going to leave the 24 as your race victor here in this one.
Wow, what a finish there. As they almost collect each other after the checkered, and just do collect each other after the checkered. Pelletier with a great block and a great strategy there, coming to the line. And yeah, was able to pull out, stay in front, and block the 34 and the 6 like he'd been doing for a while there. He managed to hook something up after we went green. Oh, and that's right there is a celebration gone wrong. But yeah, he was able to figure something out there after we got down to just the 3 cars, and it was able to stay up front much more often than the other 2 were. So that definitely played in this factor and helped him get the W tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to see here if we can maybe get a ward in with a driver, Henry Clapper, who finished 2nd there, but not getting any response from him. So we may not have one. And we may be able to get an interview from a guy who wrecked out early on, Tyler Ryan. Let's see, maybe we can possibly go get a ward in with him if we jump in. Looks like he is in a voice call, so maybe we can hop in there and see if we can get a ward in with Tyler Ryan.
Yeah, yeah, if we could, yeah, let's get a word with Tyler Ryan.
Hello.
Hey Tyler, you're in the RevLIVE booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right. Well, Tyler, you wrecked out early on, and it seemed to be an interesting wreck there. What was going through your head? You know, we saw you react maybe to the 84 bouncing off of the outside wall. How did things go from there?
Yeah, it's really sketchy when you get pushing each other off the corner in these things, and I guess the 5 car pushed the 84 a little too hard, or I don't know exactly how it went down, but the 1 car spun to the outside of me, and I kind of gave it a little flick to the left just to make sure I avoided him. And with these narrow tires and these lightweight cars, a little flick goes a long way, and the back end kind of got loose, and I got into the 5 car before I was able to get it back turned right. Just one of those deals, when you're racing this close to each other, it's hard to avoid, and I apologize to the 5 car for getting into him a little bit, but it is what it is.
Well, Tyler, I'm going to send this one over to Josh now. But I did have one more question before I do send it over to Josh to ask you some stuff. You only got to run about 7 laps in the pack, but you before this race, it seemed like you were excited, but maybe a little bit skeptical about this car track combo. How do you feel about it? Was the racing exciting? Was it fun to be in the car for this one?
Yeah, for sure. Those first couple of laps in the pack, we were all over the place. I kind of expected it. Um, I expected it to kind of be one line around the bottom. Maybe you could get something going around the top, just a couple of runs here and there. But we were 3 wide, even 4 wide a couple of times, and I didn't really expect the cars to be able to get that high up on the racetrack and hold their momentum as well as they did. So for sure, had a lot more fun early on than I thought I was going to, and had fun racing with these guys.
Yeah, and no, we definitely appreciate you coming out to this one. Yeah, I guess the only thing I really got to ask is before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank for this run tonight, or actually not thank for getting involved in that wreck early?
Yeah, yeah. The wreck was all my fault, but I really appreciate everybody that helps me out with everything I do on iRacing. The guys at Sempiternal Esports and Team Empire and all of those guys. JPAC Graphics. I didn't have a wrap on this car today, but JPAC Graphics is the guy to go to for wraps. Um, just anybody that comes out and races with us on a daily basis and makes us all better by doing it. I appreciate everybody on the sim.
All right, yeah, well, Tyler. Well, thanks for taking the time to interview with us tonight, and coming out and racing. And congratulations on your top 5 finish.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was Tyler Ryan for an interview. Finished P5 tonight. And before we end off this broadcast, just go through the results one more time. Ben Pelletier came home as your victor in the 24. Henry Clappert, P2, only 0.047 seconds behind the 24. Mark Bunch in P3, 0.083 behind Ben. So a really close finish, less than 1/10 of a second separating the top 3 coming to the line. So definitely an exciting finish to the race tonight. And yeah, then Brandon Watkins coming home P4, Tyler Ryan P5, and David Bachman P6. All of them over 10 laps down.
Yeah, this one was an interesting one, and maybe there's room for another one with some different stuff, because I mean this was a fun one to do for us for sure. So glad we could get this broadcast out there. Obviously, get some work in before we truly get into it. Obviously, we are for hire for leagues and events. Our main days open are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We can also roll Tuesday and Thursday nights if it's a later night league, something starting after like 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's kind of what we're looking at here in terms of things on RevLIVE. But we appreciate everyone who tuned in. We appreciate everyone who showed up and raced. And like I said, maybe we have 1 or 2 of these in the cards as well. That way we just get our feet wet again. It's been a while since we've done this broadcasting thing, RevLIVE. Back when it was WORC TV, of course, it sat stagnant for 3 years. So, when you sit there and you don't do something for a while, you have to kind of get back into things again. But it was really fun. I think Josh did a great job on everything up on his part as the producer of this show, and I'm really looking forward to being in the booth and getting things done and ultimately progressing this thing forward. And obviously we promise things were going to be bigger and better than what WORC TV ever was. It's already looking so much better. The future is very promising for this. So super excited for that. And we hope everyone can tune in, subscribe for more, and we'll see everyone around soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a RevLIVE broadcast, and thank you all for tuning in. Can't wait to see you in the next one.